stories are ready, and new champions are coming. Season 2 is here. Stand tall for British basketball.
Good afternoon and welcome into the National Basketball Performance Centre here in Manchester. We've got some Super League action for you today as Manchester Basketball host the Leicester Riders. Both teams sitting at one win and 1 loss in the championship, looking to move above 500 today. Caroline Bullock here alongside Manchester's very own Hannah Alty as we get ready to tip off in around 10 minutes time. So Hannah, we've got a really exciting game on our hands today. A lot to talk about, but first, how much are you looking forward to seeing these two teams out on the court today?
Oh, Kaz, it's going to be a game, I think. I'm really excited for today. You know, I think we're getting to that part of the season now where, you know, these are starting to kind of be predictions for what's going on in the new year. And I think, yeah, it's going to be a belter.
It absolutely is. Now, we have the on-court action between these two teams, but also the story of today's game. Georgia Anderson, as she is introduced to the crowd, in her last game against the Nottingham Wildcats, scored 10 points. And that 10-point game for Anderson tied her for the all-time leading scorer in the top flight league alongside Kat Carr. 2,433 points for Anderson. So today, the first point she scores will put her into first place on the all-time leading scorer list. What an incredible achievement for Anderson.
Oh, absolutely. You know, she's a legend of the game, and I think for her, you know, to do it here on in her home court as well, you know, and we can see that, you know, her family are here to support her as well. So it's just fantastic to see.
And we can see in the venue, we've got a tribute video here to Georgia Anderson, friends and family and teammates talking about what her career means and how impactful she's been to the game. You'll be able to see that on the Super League channels later on today. But for Anderson as well, this game against the Leicester Riders are a team that she started her career with in 2014, played 2 seasons with the Leicester Riders, and then made the move over to Manchester, where she's played the next 9 seasons. What a full circle moment, really.
It absolutely is. I mean, I didn't realise it until I walked in and I realised, you know, it's Leicester. We're playing Leicester today. So, yeah, it's fantastic.
So people in the crowd, certainly, and anybody watching here is going to be looking for that first basket out on the court for Georgia Anderson, a real milestone in the top flight league. And we talk about players, Anna, that play for, you know, a long period, 11 seasons. That's incredible. Taking a break a few years ago to start a family, coming back to the game. She broke the assist record last year, hit 1,000 assists in the top flight league. The only player ever to have done that.
Yeah, I just think, you know, it's just fantastic because, you know, we've got so many up-and-coming players as well that look up to her and see kind of the impact that she's had on the league. And, you know, that kind of legendary status doesn't just come easy. Like, she's built that up over the years. And, yeah, she's just an absolute asset to the city.
And she's an icon here in Manchester, and what she's done for the women's game in Britain is absolutely fantastic, cannot be understated at all. So, as we see Jamel Anderson and daughter Harper there talking to her, as Anderson will come out onto the court to cheers from her teammates in the crowd. So a really special moment out there for Georgia Anderson. Also, we are going to be looking out for that first basket from Anderson. So then on to the game as well. So Manchester facing Leicester, both teams at 1-1. Manchester had a win against Nottingham just before the international break. So both teams have had a little bit of time off during the international break. Manchester with an 88-68 win over the Nottingham Wildcats. And it was Maya Bratka leading the way in that game, 20 points and 5 rebounds. As Franny Hottinger added in 17 points and 8 rebounds. And Irina Boado, 17 points and 3 rebounds for her. It was a really strong performance for Manchester last time out.
Yeah, it really was, you know, and I think they're kind of starting starting to come together now. I think, we've got some new players today as well, and I think, they're really starting to kind of gel and really become in sync with each other, and that's really showing in the results.
Absolutely, and you just mentioned it. So Vera Pearsonen joining Manchester. She was with them for that Nottingham win, picked up 5 steals in that game. She's been out playing for the Finland national team at the Eurobasket qualifiers, and she's going to be a really great addition to this team.
Yeah, she really is. I've heard some great things about her, and her performance in the Eurobasket is excellent. So, yeah, I think it's exciting to see what she's going to bring today.
And for Manchester, she's the 3rd international player representing internationally. So Vera playing for Finland, Maya Bratka out with Estonia at the Eurobasket qualifiers, and Irina Boado representing Great Britain, the 17-year-old who got her first points against Switzerland for the senior national team.
Oh, that game was just fantastic. I think it's, again, showing the importance of this player development that we have in the country, and having the others as well here and playing for Manchester really shines a light on kind of the emphasis that this the elite program that we have here at Manchester Basketball.
And when you have players that are gaining that international experience, for Irene it's the first time, not the first time for Vera and Maya, but being able to bring what you've learned back into the domestic game, how important is that?
Oh, absolutely, Kaz. I mean, it's a different game playing on an international stage like that and playing for your country. I think you just, the experience you gain is so invaluable that it means that you can then just bring that different aspect to the game when you come back to your home court. So yeah, I think Irene's probably learnt so much and has put a lot under her belt, and is probably ready to showcase it all for us today.
I mean, when your teammates Temi Fagbenle, I bet you can learn quite a lot.
Yeah, probably.
And if we take a look at the Leicester Riders, so they last played against the Sheffield Hatters. That was a 79-58 loss. They did have a win against Cardiff earlier in the season. Jada Holland leading the way in that game with 20 points, and Katie Januszewska 11 points, 4 rebounds and 2 assists. Now this is a little bit of a reshuffled Leicester Riders team. They've got 3 returning players from last season, and they have some players though that have moved up from the Division 1 team, making their debut in the SLB this season. But how does that work when they've got some of these new additions into a core?
I mean, I think realistically, Kaz, I think Leicester are one of the most competitive teams in women's top flight basketball. They always have. So I think really whatever their roster looks like, they remain to be that disciplined and organised team and program. We can't forget their academy program. So I think for them, really, they just have that structure that allows new players and new coaches to come in and really just kind of get involved in the ethos of the team and the structure in which they like to play. So yeah, I don't think it's going to be a problem for them at all.
And I spoke about Jada Holland just before, 20 points in that last game against Nottingham, but she is the team's leading scorer with 19.5 points per game. That's 10th in the SLB. She's also leading the team in assists per game with 5, which is good for 8. She's a really tough defender as well as a scorer. Yeah,
she is. She's very clinical when it comes to her defense. She's got that really strong, like, she reads the game really well, and I think that makes her defense so tough. She's honestly one of my favourite defensive players in the league, I think, this year. She's just so intense with it as well.
She's certainly very fun to watch. And Louisa Gibbons and Hannah Gray out on the floor for the Leicester Riders. Now 2 players that were with Ipswich in Division 1 last season, also crossing over playing some Division 1 for the WNBL this season as well, but really good to see those players make that next step.
Yeah, absolutely, and I just think it's good as well to show that they're, like you say, playing across the leagues, and I think for them it's all about just getting as much game experience as possible, like, understanding that at that young level you absorb so much from whatever league you're in, and again, for them being on new teams, they're learning a new style of play, they're learning, different kind of methods in which coaches like to kind of implement stuff. So I think for them, this is, really invaluable experience, and yeah, I think they're going to be great.
And alongside them, Katie Januszewska returning for the Leicester Riders, playing her 3rd straight season for the Riders, a player that came up through Charnwood and the WEABL Academy. And as you mentioned, it is a really strong program there. And we've seen Katie Januszewska playing for so many years now. It feels like she's such a veteran out there on the floor, even at such a young age.
Yeah, she's brilliant. Again, she's somebody that's got a fantastic IQ. She reads the game really well, and I love her shot selection when she's on court. You know, she's very disciplined and clinical when it comes to her offense, and she has a good set of kind of skills under her belt when it comes to kind of making her shot selection, should I say.
So if we take a look at the starting fives for both teams, for Manchester basketball, it will be Irina Boado, Maya Bratka, Franny Hottinger, Vera Pirtinen and Tiara East. And for the Leicester Riders, Katie Januszewska, Jada Holland, Mercy Adamsayo, Brooke Biggott and Louisa Gibbons. So two players that have played each other under 18s WABL, starting against each other in Louisa Gibbons and Irina Boado.
Yeah, I think it'll be a really good matchup today.
So teams just talking things over, and one team obviously will move to above 500 today, Hannah. Teams playing their third game of the season in the championship, but we've already had the trophy group stages, so Manchester not making it through into the semi-finals, but they've also had a lot of time, that those games have given teams a lot of time to get to know each other.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, these teams are well versed in kind of playing against each other for many years now, and I think for Manchester in particular, this is a great test, because I think the Riders are such a benchmark program that if you can compete with Leicester for 40 minutes, you know that you're doing a lot of things right.
So Manchester coming into this game as the top scoring team in the league, 91.5 points per game they've been putting up. That's a huge figure.
It really is.
And Leicester at 76.5, which is also pretty high. It's just Manchester's even higher.
Yeah.
So are we expecting a fast-paced, high-scoring game today?
I think so, and and I think if Leicester can win the turnover battle and keep Manchester out of transition, that will play right into the Riders' hands. They've got enough shooters on that team that I think if Manchester overhelp at any point, they've got that ability to make that extra pass and then make them pay.
So teams coming out onto the court. Leicester playing in black and Manchester in white. And for the tip, it will be Bratka and Adamsayo. Maya Bratka picking up Manchester's Player of the Month award for October, where she was presented it on Friday at the men's game. Has just been having an absolutely fantastic stint so far for Manchester.
Yeah, she really has. She's such a tough player as well. She's so strong under the basket.
So ball's up and we're underway, and first possession will go to Manchester as East spins and finds a way to the basket. And a quick start there for Manchester. Biggott finds Januszewska. Over to Gibbons. Hand off to Holland, round the outside. Back to Gibbons. 7 seconds on the clock. Oh, great read from Boado, who gets the steal and takes it all the way to the hoop. And Irina Boado, in 2 games so far, 16.5 points per game, has absolutely stepped up to the next level.
Yeah, she really has. I mean, again, just on that last play, Leicester need to tighten up these passes because Manchester will capitalise on every single one.
As Holland banks into for the Riders. And that's the difficulty Jada Holland poses. Maybe slightly undersized, but she has such a way of finding her shot.
It's the footwork. She's got such discipline with her, the way she's able to, navigate under the basket.
Hottinger inside, can't get the roll. It's a 2-point lead here for Manchester early on in the first. Holland against East, picks up the pace and takes it to the basket. And she just puts the burners on.
Yeah, exactly. And again, that was a little change in pace that really just allowed her to go by and open up the lane for herself.
So tied at 4-all here as Boado spins, kicks it out to Bratka. Pirtinen up to the basket, short, but Hottinger picks up the rebound and gets the roll. And Franny Hottinger, we have to speak about her, Hannah. I know that we love to talk about Franny Hottinger. Leads the team in points per game and rebounds, 22.5 points per game, 6 rebounds. She is just such an all-round player, isn't she?
Yeah, she really is, and she just doesn't quit either. Like, there might be a bit of a lull in the run for Manchester, but you've got Hottinger there just still going after it. As you can see there with that rebound.
Right on cue, picks up the rebound, and Hottinger powers away to the rim, gets her own rebound, and he's fouled on the shot. So Franny Hottinger will go to the line. And this is something that Franny does very well. She draws those fouls. She's been averaging 6 drawn fouls a game. During the trophy group stages, she was leading the league in fouls drawn and made free throws. So she's a problem when you foul her because she's going to make the free throws.
Yeah, and you know, for that to be drawing those fouls, it just shows again that IQ that she can really draw the contact and but also execute at the same time.
And she's a great finisher as well. She can finish through that contact as she goes 2 of 2 from the line. And Hottinger up to 4 points personal. It's a 4-point Manchester lead. Holland will set things up here for the Riders. Gets the handoff. Oh, finds a path to the basket. Ball's knocked out of bounds, and it's last touch Riders. But that is something that Manchester maybe struggled with a bit this season. That left-hand lane to the basket sometimes seems to be open.
It really does, and I think that's clearly a gap in their help defence, I think.
And a player like Holland's certainly going to capitalise on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
East, hands off to Pearton. 6 seconds on the clock. East in the corner, 3 doesn't drop, but ball's tipped. And Hottinger comes up with it. East under the basket, puts it in for 2. And you're starting to see as well now, after playing several games, the connections between certain players on court, and East and Hottinger, and Aboado and Hottinger as well.
Yeah, absolutely. They've got these little kind of, like you say, these little connections that are just allowing them to execute.
As Aboado draws the foul going to the basket, so Irene Aboado heads to the foul line here, and a chance for 2. And we mentioned it pre-game, but Irene Aboado, representing Great Britain at the Eurobasket qualifiers, picked up her first points for the senior team on a free throw against Switzerland. Then had a big 3-pointer just before half-time against Norway. So a really exciting young player to watch. She's committed to Boston College in NCAA Division I next year, and she has such a bright future.
She really does. Yeah. Again, just having been her coach and her teammate, it's just been an absolute honour to watch her. And yeah, I just can't wait to see where she goes. We'll be there at the sideline.
We will, cheering her on. As Januszewska goes inside, can't get it to fall. And a jump ball is called, so that will stay with the Riders. But Manchester have been able to go on a bit of a run here. Feel like they're a little bit more in rhythm at the moment to start with. So Holland into Adam Sayo. Holland over to Biggett. Runs into Hottinger. Oh, what a pass underneath the basket. Can't finish, but that was a great pass.
It really was.
Aboado pulls up for 3. Too strong. As interception by East, who'll take it to the basket. They're going to go to the foul line, and Manchester really put the pressure on here, forcing the turnovers early on, Hannah.
Yeah, they are. They're setting up a brick wall in the in this backcourt here for Leicester, and I think Leicester just need to tighten up a little bit on these passes, and I think maybe they're panicking a little bit, so they just need to settle it down. You know, there's only 4 minutes has gone. They just need to, settle themselves and tighten up and clean up their passes.
So Tiara East gets the first free throw. Been averaging 10 points a game and 5 rebounds, along with 4 assists for Manchester so far in the championship this season. Coming out of Temple University in Philadelphia. And will go 2 of 2 from the line. So it's a 9-point lead here for Manchester. Holland has space, thought about the shot. Kicks it out to Gibbons. 3 doesn't drop, but we know that's a good look for Louisa Gibbons.
Yeah, she is. She's so confident on that perimeter.
And as a player that plays inside and can hit the shot from outside, that makes her quite dangerous to come up against.
It really does. And it makes her very difficult to mark, because you can't just guess where she's going to be. You have to, as I like to say, be on the ball with it.
And it's much like Maya Bratka. Bratka, an outside shooter, and can get inside. When you've got a big like that, again, it's, as you said, very difficult to guard. So Leicester will pick up their 4th team foul there, and with just over 5 minutes to play, so maybe a little bit of a difficult position for them to be in.
Possibly. It depends how they play it. I think, you know, they've got a roster, they've got a bench that they can rotate quite easily, but it'll just be that. It'll be Manchester scoring, getting those free throws.
As Hottinger puts it in underneath the hoop. And Hottinger now up to 6 points as we see Snayerid into the first game for the Riders, handling the ball. Kyan Oma-Jones also in after that last substitution. Oma-Jones from deep, off the rim, and Abodo picks up the rebound. Hottinger gonna take it all the way to the basket, count it, and the foul, and Franny Hottinger on a tear here in the first quarter.
You know, when Manchester get out on a run, they really look like themselves, and I think that's something that Leicester just kind of need to start nipping into the bud. They need to start kind of, well, they've called a timeout now. Let's hope that see what they draw up.
So Hottinger will be at the line when we come back out of the timeout. So a 17-4 lead for Manchester. Hottinger with 8 points so far. Tiara East adding in 6. And it's Jada Holland with those 4 points for the Riders. And those were 4 early points for Leicester. And they've maybe not gone for that look again that they had, but Manchester haven't been able to counter it from Holland.
Yeah, Manchester, you know, they might have, I'm guessing they'll have corrected themselves. But I think right now what they're struggling with is these transitions. This is where Manchester have got all that majority of their points at the moment, and I think it's turnovers and not looking after the ball properly. So I think Leicester just need to have a think and really focus on cleaning up in the backcourt, and also making sure that their passes are, you know, laser sharp, because Manchester's just getting their hands in everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, with Vera Pirtinen picking up 5 steals in the last game, Irina Boado averaging just under 2 a game, they are a dangerous team to come up against.
Yeah, I mean, East is already on 2, so you know, within the first 5 minutes of the game. So I think, you know, this is something that Leicester needs to be wary of. And again, they're on 5 turnovers as well. So I think, you know, once that tidies up, they'll be fine. I think, you know, like you say, they're getting the looks, and they are creating some really nice offensive plays. So I think for them, it's just watching the turnovers.
Yeah. So a substitution after that timeout, and Nicolette Fairley into the game alongside Georgia Anderson as Hottinger finishes the 3-point play. It's Oma-Jones with the ball for the Riders. Reed. Out to Holland. Januszewska catch and shoot. Shot spins out as Bratka gets it over to Anderson. And Anderson will set things up here for Manchester as Bratka's 3 splashes in from outside. And we just spoke about it before, Hannah, but it's dangerous when you have a player that can play inside and outside like Bratka.
It absolutely is.
And a great pass there from Januszewska as Adam Sayo gets 2 more for the Riders. Gets her first points of the game. And Katie Januszewska with 3 assists a game for the Riders. A very good facilitator out there on the floor. But that will be the Riders' 5th foul. So the Riders in the bonus, and that's going to put Manchester at the foul line here as Januszewska picks up her 2nd foul here in the first quarter. So we'll have a substitution for the Riders as Hannah Gray will come into the game and Januszewska will head to the bench. So Pirtinen here at the foul line for Manchester. A chance to increase this lead, playing in her first home game for Manchester basketball after she made her debut against the Nottingham Wildcats a couple of weeks ago. Pirtinen playing in Germany last season, 6.8 points per game. Goes 2 of 2 from the line. And it's a 23-6 lead here for Manchester over Leicester. It's under 4.5 minutes in the first quarter as Oma-Jones is fouled on the baseline. Will go against Bratka.
That was a nice little hang in the air there, wasn't it?
It was. She's got great hang times, Oma-Jones.
Again, that's a good way of like drawing that contact for the foul. Like she was like a bit of an awkward angle, so it was one of them where it was like she wanted to get the most from it. So having that little hang time just allowed Bratka to come over and
it gives you that extra like millisecond,
Yeah,
doesn't it?
of drawing that contact.
So Eva Karashaita out onto the floor for Manchester, as Kyan Oma-Jones will be at the line here for the Riders. And Oma-Jones playing for the London Lions last season in the Super League, 10.6 points per game and 2.3 rebounds. Gets the first free throw to fall. Has also played for the Caledonia Gladiators, where they played in Euro Cup, and also spent time with the Sheffield Hatters, so an experienced player. And it goes 2 for 2, takes the Riders up to 8 points. Anderson against Gray. Looking for some space. Anderson out to Bratka. Pirtinen for 3, connects! And Vera Pirtinen already, Hannah, putting on a show for the fans here at home. Manchester picking up full court as Gray will get it over the line. And Oma-Jones will settle things down. Holland working against Fairley. 6 seconds on the clock. Oma-Jones over to Adam Sayo, and that's a great connection again.
Yeah, that was a fab pass. I mean, that cut down and then the little handoff was beautiful.
Almost pretty much the same as Januszewska's handoff under the basket as well. So that's something the Riders can certainly look to. Adam Sayo under the hoop. Fairley over to Anderson. Anderson 3 off the rim. As Manchester have a 16-point lead here in the first quarter. Adam Sayo pulls up from deep and hits. And the Riders in more rhythm here.
They really are. And this is, you know, their half-court offense is fab when they get going. They just need to look for those runs and look for those movements.
Fairley into the corner. Karashaita finds Anderson. Anderson, floater, too strong. And Reed, can she go back to back? Yes, she can! And Sanaya Reed leading the charge here. 6 quick points for Reed as she's come out onto the floor and cuts the lead down to 13.
I mean, what an impact she's had just, you know,
Huge.
coming straight off the bench like that. And I think Leicester needed that. She came on at the exact right time. But that's what sometimes you do. You just need that player to come in and just set the tone for you and create that momentum.
And Reed, playing in her first season for the Riders, came out of Southern University in Louisiana, spending 4 years there, averaging just over 9 points per game and 3 rebounds. She was named to the All SWAC Tournament first team, and that's a really competitive program to be in.
Yeah, she's great.
So, after that 3-pointer, excuse me, the scoreboard wasn't updated. So lead is down to 10 now, a 26-16 lead after that second 3 from Reed. And that's the look that the Riders are going to want to go for as well. They've got that inside game, but also they are a 3-point shooting team. Yeah,
you know, I think I mentioned it in the pre-game. They have so many shooters on that team, and I think for them it's just all about controlling the half court. They seem to have settled now a little bit in terms of you know, managing the intensity of Manchester's defence, and I think once they start to build on that, they really will be dangerous. You know, they've got so many shooters, and they've got the inside plays with that they're creating, that they have been creating. They've just not managed to execute at the moment. So I think, yeah.
And obviously a lot of time left in the game. It's just the first quarter, so it is a game of runs, and the shots will start to fall. Those things will come with time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So back out onto the court, 2:35 to play. We'll see Hannah Shaw into the game for the first time as the ball will go out of bounds. And Leicester will take it from the sideline. Bigger against the Boado. East picks up a 3rd steal of the game so far. Oh, and Oma-Jones just sneaking in, nearly got away with that to take the ball away. As it's loose, picked up under the basket, it will go out of bounds. Oma-Jones like a flash there.
She did,
Just like, oh, I'm going to sneak up and I'm going to try and take that ball. So Manchester ball from the end line. Karashaita From 3, and Eva Karashaita hitting from behind the three-point line, but that is what she does so well.
I think we spoke about it last game. She just has such a nice catch and shoot rhythm.
And she's very symmetrical when she shoots. She's got a very good form as Gray looks to answer. Can't get it to go, but Oma Jones gets another chance. Kicks it out to Biggett. And that goes! And we've got a three-point shootout on our hands here today, Hannah. As Leeds back to 10. 29-19, Manchester leads. East working around the outside. Long 2 off the rim. And the Riders with a chance to cut this down to single digits.
Oh, when did Hannah get on the court?
Just after that last substitution. And Reed looking for her third 3, doesn't go. Hottinger grabs the rebound. And she's going to power her way to the basket, stops, runs into traffic as Shaw can't get the shot to go.
But again, Oma Jones just flying down the court, getting herself in the way, making herself a big body.
Such a quick player is Oma Jones. As Biggett threes off the rim, Karashaita secures the ball for Manchester. Final minute of the first quarter, East against Reed. East going all the way, draws the foul, so that will send Tiara East back to the foul line with Leicester being on 5 team fouls. So Manchester a chance to extend the lead here at the foul line, up 10. East with 6 points so far. Gets the first to go. 3 steals as well in the first quarter, Hannah. It's very impressive. She saw Vera Peartonin's 5 last weekend, last game against Nottingham, and thought, oh,
I'm going to be that.
I'm going to be inspired.
Yeah.
So Leeds back up to 12 for Manchester. 6-second difference between the shot and game clock. Oma Jones. Biggett with 8 seconds, goes to the basket. Oh, that's Gray. Apologies, Gray fouled under the basket, so she's going to go to the line. That'll be the first against Karashaita. Manchester on 2 team fouls here late in the first quarter. Hannah Gray, last season for Ipswich in Division 1, averaged 8.3 points per game. Was named the MVP of the WEABL final against Manchester for Copleston. And she gets the second to go. Gray gets her first points of the game. 11 seconds to go. Manchester can hold for the final shot of the first quarter here. Aboado. Pass is picked up by Oma Jones, and Oma Jones 2 seconds to Gibbons, and that'll be after the buzzer. But again, that's the read from Oma Jones. Yeah. She's all over the court.
Yeah, and again, she read the shot that she had an opportunity there to take a 3, and it was like, no, actually, there's probably a better option here because I'm being face guarded. So she looked for Louisa on the run, and I think for her that just shows the IQ that she's got and how she can read the game well. But I think she's really dominating their offense and defense right now. She's getting them some really nice stops under the basket on defense. Yeah. She's being aggressive. And then at the other end, she's moving the ball really well and creating a lot of opportunities for her fellow teammates.
And she's one of those players, isn't she, that she does a lot of work off the ball that might not always be reflected in the stat sheet.
Yeah, absolutely.
Has 3 assists so far, along with 2 points. So a 10-point lead for Manchester as we head into the second quarter. Leading the way is Franny Hottinger with 9 points and 4 rebounds. Tiara East on 8 points as well for Manchester. And for the Riders, splitting the scoring around, but Sanaya Reid 6 points off those 2 back-to-back threes, and then Jada Holland and Mercy Adamsayo on 4 points each. So Leicester certainly picked it up there towards the end of the second quarter, at the second part of the first quarter.
No, they did, you know, and I think like they went back to their roots, which is that fantastic half-court offense that they play so well. You know, making the most out of moving the ball, looking for the right shot, and executing on that. So yeah, I think that's what they just need to keep up.
And for Manchester, 31 points in the quarter, that's a huge number.
Yeah, really, really big.
So teams back out onto the court as Anderson is going to set things up here for Manchester. East. Pass into Hottinger. That's a tough catch from Hottinger. Gets it to Bratka. Pearsonen calling for it from the outside. And Pearsonen up to 8 points here.
Again, that's just such nice ball movement.
As Reed answers for the Riders. And that's the look Manchester are going to go for, isn't it? In that corner, that three,
yeah.
If it's open, and Pearsonen certainly doesn't need an inch of space as Bratka, oh, what a finish under the basket. The ball movement there. As Anderson intercepts the pass under the basket, has to pass out of it. Bratka lines up a three and sinks it. Maya Bratka with the MJ shrug. Now, she's known for her big blocks, but she's also making some big shots as Oma Jones picks up the rebound, can't finish for the Riders. And Manchester back down the floor. East. Oh, a tough move from East as she gets the bounce. And Manchester.
Such a high shot that.
it was waiting for it to
It really was.
Oma Jones. Oh, loads of space for Oma Jones. That's too strong.
Can't leave her open like that. She will take advantage of it.
Good hands from Gray to knock the ball out of bounds. I feel like we're just seeing some really exceptionally fun plays here, Hannah.
We actually have.
So Katie Januszewska will come back out onto the court, and it will be Manchester ball here from the sideline.
I think Leicester have missed Januszewska. I think this is, hopefully she's going to come in now and really kind of set the tone for their offense.
Januszewska with those 2 early fouls in the first quarter, so was on the bench for a little bit there in the first. Anderson. Hottinger past to Bratka under the basket, lays it in. And Maya Bratka now into double figures alongside Tiara East with 10. Biggert off the screen from Gibbons. Biggert saves the ball on the end line. Will stay Riders basketball. Great assist there from Sam Heitzman. So 10 seconds on the shot clock here as Georgia Anderson will take a seat and Irene Obodo back out onto the floor. Gibbons looking for the handoff. 4 seconds here. Riders need to be quick. 2 seconds. Biggert from deep. Oh, what a shot! Brooke Biggert with time running down.
She's so composed in those moments, isn't she? She's really good at making sure she can execute.
Not panicked, not rushed the shot. As Obodo goes all the way. And a timeout called here by the Riders as Manchester take a 45-26 lead here in the first half. Have been led by Maya Bratka with 10 points personal and Tiara East also on 10 points.
Yeah, I think Manchester just came out flying then. You know, the ball movement under the basket, it's just been really, really flowing nicely. They've been looking for each other and very determined and reading the Leicester defence really well. You know, Irene on that last play, she really was determined to open that lane up for her, and, you know, she drove left, wasn't quite able to make it, so then took a tiny little step back, if you see, a little hezzy move, and rearranged herself and went up on the right, which I think was just fantastic.
And Maya Bratka, 10 points for her, has hit 2 threes. She was Manchester's Player of the Month in October, but she's the experience she brings to the team. So Maya Bratka playing several seasons. So she was actually playing for the Leicester Riders along with Georgia Anderson in Georgia Anderson's first season. So in 2014, 2015, Anderson and Bratka were sharing the court.
Yeah.
And they're doing so again today here in 2025.
I mean, you'd have thought it was written, wouldn't you? Yeah. You couldn't script it.
So it will be Riders' ball from the baseline. And we'll see Fleur Gamal into the game for the first time, making her home debut for Manchester. As Holland in the corner for the Riders. Gray into Gibbons. Oh, Aboado takes the steal, and Hottinger goes all the way to the basket, gets the foul call. Did you see how high Irene Aboado bounced in the air to get that?
Are you surprised?
No, I shouldn't be. I should not be surprised at all. So Hottinger back at the foul line here for Manchester. And as we said earlier, Hannah, it's Hottinger being able to take that contact, draw those fouls, gets herself to the line, which also, whilst it benefits Manchester in scoring, it gets the other team in foul trouble.
It really does.
So first is good, gets the roll.
You know, you see there 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 players already in fouls for Leicester. And I think, again,
and Hottinger having drawn 3 of them.
3 of them herself. So I think it just shows you really how the impact it can have on the way in which you then have to play your defence.
As Manchester stretch the lead out to 21 here in the first half. Holland to Januszewska. Bigger against Bratka. Januszewska going inside. Will go to the foul line, and that'll be the first team foul on Manchester. So 2 shots to come here.
I think Leicester are struggling a little bit just to get anything inside. They are kind of having to really work on the perimeter, get some handoffs, get some ball screens, just to be able to kind of create those gaps. So Januszewska did a fantastic job there driving the lane, and she didn't give up on it either. You know, she was really determined to get to the paint.
Certainly so. Karashaita back out on court for Manchester, and Hottinger takes a well-deserved rest on the bench as Januszewska hits the first free throw. Been averaging 15 points a game this season, along with 4 rebounds, as Bratka gets it over to Aboado. Aboado to Karashaita. Looking for some help here to hand off. Aboado going into the basketball's loose, picked up by Holland. That's the pressure there from Holland.
Yeah.
As Gray, 3's too strong, and it will be Manchester possession. And we'll see Erin Caldwell sub into the game for the Riders. Hannah Gray goes to the bench. So a 20-point lead for Manchester here in the first half.
6:30 to go in the half. Manchester by 20.
Aboado to Bratka. Bratka working inside. Bratka turns and fires. Not that time. As Biggett gets the ball over the halfway line for the Riders. Januszewska with space. Doesn't go, but Adam Sayers there for the rebounds. Can't finish on the putback as the ball's tipped into Manchester's hands. Bratka to Aboado. Biggett nearly coming away with the steal as Aboado's three's too strong, but another chance here for Manchester, and Karashaita drills it from the corner. And Eva Karashaita, playing for MMU this season, had a 19-point game against the University of Manchester on Wednesday night. Hit a few of those.
Did she?
I was watching. It was exciting. So a foul at the other end. And the Riders will go back to the line here. Second team foul on Manchester. So far as fouls against Gamal. And we'll see Tiara East and Anderson back out onto the court. So Biggett gets the first. Bigot returning for the Riders this season after having played last year in the Super League. Spent some time playing in the Netherlands as she gets the second to go. Anderson. Anderson round the outside, steps back for three. Doesn't drop, Bratka has it. East to Karashaita. East against Januszewska, 4 seconds. Bratka, she's open from the foul line, drills it. And Maya Bratka with 3 made threes. As Holland going inside, Adam Sayo finds Bigot. 6 seconds, out to the corner. And Caldwell 3 doesn't go. Anderson pass is intercepted. Januszewska down the floor for the Riders. Going to go all the way. And good defense there from Pirtinen as Anderson picks up the pass. East going inside. That's short. And a little bit of a messy couple of possessions as East picks up the inbound, the pass. Pirtinen going baseline. Oh, what a pass over to Anderson. 3 is no good. And ball will go out of bounds. That pass was incredible.
It was laser point, wasn't it?
Vera Pirtinen just showing exactly what she can do on the court. Do we want threes? Do we want passes? She can do a bit of everything. So a 53-29 lead for Manchester here in the first half. Riders looking to cut into this deficit. Holland finds that path to the basket, and that's what was working very well early in the first quarter.
Yeah, absolutely. You've said, that left-hand lane.
As Pirtinen finishing underneath the basket. Pirtinen into double figures, with Manchester having 4 players in double figures at the moment here. And Januszewska takes the contact and will go to the line. That's a tough move from Januszewska.
It really was. Yeah, she's fantastic. She really drew the contact on that one. And again, Kaz, you're right, that left-hand lane is wide open. I think it's maybe where we're sat, we've got a great...
It might look... Yeah. Maybe it's not as wide open as it looks. Someone send a defender.
Maybe Coach Parr just needs to come and sit here for a minute and see if assess it and see if we're talking anything.
Manchester on top here in the first half. East pulls up from the elbow. And East now up to 12 points. Manchester really putting on a scoring clinic here in the first half, doing it from all over the floor. As Holland, oh, what a move to the basket. Jada Holland. But again, it is that left-hand lane. And Holland finds the way, doesn't finish at the basket, but she's going to go to the foul line here.
Yeah, and she took that contact fantastically.
So Nicolette Fairley back into the game, and Vera Pirtinen will go to the bench. Pirtinen with 10 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal and a block in the first half. So Holland here at the line gets the roll on the first. Holland graduating from Grand Canyon University. Also spent time at San Jose State, where she was named to the All-Mountain West defensive team. Cuts into this Manchester lead. And Holland up to 8 for the Riders. Fairley to Anderson. East, Hottinger. Hottinger needs to pass out of it. Fairley's there. Over to Anderson. Anderson for 3. Spins out. There's Oma Jones working around the outside for the Riders. Holland against Fairley, and Holland Oh, not that time. But again, she's finding a way
She
to get
really
to the
is.
basket. Picks up the ball, goes all the way to the basket, and drops in 2 more. She's up to 10. Manchester with a 26-14 run this quarter.
I like this zone for Leicester. I think it's a good play by Coach Moody. Really swallowing the inside, forcing Manchester to kind of really have to rethink their offense here.
Disrupting them a little bit.
And it's quite high up as well, so it's not giving the open threes as much either.
So fouls called on Manchester, and that will put the Riders at the line. So Manchester now in the bonus on 5 fouls. That'll be the first foul on Anderson. So Tiara East will go to the bench, and Abodo into the game. Reed connects on the first. And 2 of 2 from the line, and Reed up to 10 points, and she has really been a spark off the bench for the Riders.
Absolutely, she's really come in and she's really helped to build that momentum for them.
Abodo to Anderson. Anderson pulls up. Not that time, and back down the court is Holland against Abodo. Holland to the basket, draws the foul. And again, and Holland's been able to do that well for the Riders. Getting that foul call, going to the basket. So Holland goes back to the foul line here.
Yeah, and I think she just needs to keep it up as well. She's been playing so tough. You know, and like we said, now Manchester are on the penalty. And she's just being aggressive, which is what Leicester need.
And certainly at 1:12 to play, Leicester can certainly take that advantage of that.
Exactly, get as many free throws as they can now. Get it back up to a 10-point.
Holland's shooting 75% from the line so far this season, gets both. Takes herself up to 12 points. It's a 17-point Manchester lead. Abodo. Hottinger. Hottinger working inside, finds Shaw under the basket. I think Gibbons got a hand on that. And again, the Riders get another stop. Januszewska gets the handoff, it's short, but Gibbons is there for the rebound. Out to Reed. Oma Jones rolls off the rim as Hottinger will be fouled as she's trying to take the ball down the court, but that'll be the second team foul against the Riders. And the Riders there, Hannah, so in the first quarter we saw them in a little bit of early foul trouble.
Yeah.
They've been really disciplined here with their picking up 2.
Yeah, they have, and I think it just shows that Manchester are struggling a little bit now. I think this zone has ruffled their feathers a little bit.
Shaw to Hottinger, and reverse doesn't go. Riders with another chance to cut into the lead here. Ball's picked up, Hottinger over to Anderson, back to Hottinger, and Franny Hottinger, just the way she finishes under the basket, absolutely fantastic. Reed with 7 seconds, Januszewska, 4 seconds. 3, Januszewska to the basket, and with time running down, Januszewska finds a way and has cut this lead down to 17, 61-44 here at the end of the first half. Manchester having been led by 15 points from Franny Hottinger, along with 6 rebounds and 3 assists. Maya Bratka on 13 points, perfect from the three-point line, 3 of 3 from behind the three-point line, along with 4 rebounds for Bratka. Vera Peartinen in her home debut, 12 points and 2 rebounds and 2 assists. But Manchester with 4 players into double figures, Hannah, that's a really a really impressive performance.
It's really telling, you know. I think for them, they've just been moving the ball really well. They've been looking for the right shots and their open teammates, and they've been passing and moving the ball really, really well. But I think that was a great move by Coach Moody there to bring in that zone for that last few minutes of that quarter, because I think it really disrupted Manchester. They weren't able to move as well as they had been, and it allowed them to get some nice little quick steals and some quick scores and keep themselves in this game. So I think, yeah, really, really well played by the Leicester there.
And for Leicester, a 21-point first quarter, a 23-point second quarter, you know, generally that's you'd think, oh, you're going to be in a good position there. It's just Manchester have had 31 and 30, so
yeah,
it's quite very high scoring. As we said before the game, is what we expected.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, again, what we have to remember, you know, Coach Parr, he was the assistant for Leicester, so he knows the programme, he knows the way in which that team rolls. So he'll have prepped for this. He'll have kind of, you know, really changed the game plan up for Manchester today, just to make sure that they were prepared for today.
And for the Riders, if we just look at their leading scorers, so Jada Holland with 12 points, a rebound and a couple of steals as well. But Holland has been really instrumental in this run for the Riders.
Yeah, she has. She's been so aggressive going to the basket. She's been so determined. You know, and I think for her, you know, getting those quick steals and being aggressive to the basket has created that momentum for Leicester, that they need.
And Sanaya Reid with 10 points. We saw her hit those back-to-back threes. The spark off the bench alongside kind of Oma Jones as well. So she's been a really tough defender. She has. She's been all over the place. She's been up and down this court, and I think her help rotation as well has really saved Leicester quite a bit. So I'm excited to see kind of like how she plays the second half. So Hannah and I are going to take a quick break for half-time, but stay tuned to the Super League Basketball W YouTube channel, because we've got a great feature from Georgia Anderson talking about being a diabetic athlete coming up. And that is it. History made. Georgia Anderson, 1 of 1 in a league of her own.
So I was first diagnosed when I was 7. At the time I hadn't heard of diabetes before, neither did my parents, so it was all very new. I just remember feeling a little bit scared and not knowing what was going to happen. I'd had no idea what it meant. We went to the doctors and he basically said I needed to go to hospital straight away. And then it just sort of became life, really. I don't remember that much of a transition, but I think that was down to my parents and how well they handled it. I'd say my parents helped me the most. They really handled it very well. I know it must have been a very stressful time, but I never felt any of that. So yeah, a lot of credit to them, really. Also, the nurses were really, really good at the hospital, some that I still speak to now. They obviously knew what they were doing at the time, and yeah, they were really good at their job. So I have type 1 diabetes, which basically means that my body doesn't produce insulin, which is what regulates your blood glucose. So for me, I have to either inject that insulin or have it through an insulin pump. I spend quite a lot of time thinking about what I eat, more importantly, how many grams of carbohydrates are in everything that I eat or drink. Every time I eat or drink, I have to input that into my pump, and that tells me how much insulin I need. I think 50% of my brain capacity is spent thinking about what I'm eating and where my sugars are and how that affects things on a day-to-day basis. It is a lot. When I first moved to college, obviously I was on my own, and I'm now eating my own meals, creating my own meals, and obviously I've got a lot of pressure to perform on court as well. So that was a really difficult time for me, because it meant that I was really fearful of going low in practices and games. That meant that my sugars ran quite high, which at the time I didn't feel like was a problem. But on returning from college and speaking to doctors, they sort of highlighted future health issues that could create. And that's when I realised I needed to make a change and focus more on everything that I was eating. The technology has really helped, and I think it's prolonged my career really, because it was a lot. Just doing injections, especially when you're trying to get such tight control, it meant I was doing multiple injections a day. So it's been a real game changer, the technology, for sure.
And the Manchester Mystics are the first ever WBBL Cup champions, and they race onto court to celebrate. And you've got to say, from opening tip to final buzzer, they deserve that.
So my dad was a basketball player and then became a coach, and then he also coached me for a long time. which was very helpful at times because obviously he understood my game, but he also understood my diabetes as well. And my dad sometimes could see the signs before I could, as far as if my blood sugar was going low or too high. And it was more just a check-in. He would ask, am I good? Am I okay? Which for normal athletes, that's just a normal thing, but it takes it to another level for me, which is, do you need to come off? Do you need to check your sugars? Do you need to have something to eat? So just having that understanding on the sidelines made it reassuring for me. Diabetes is obviously hard to control in the first place, but then you throw pregnancy into the mix and it just becomes even harder. So yeah, when we decided to have a baby, I had to stop playing completely. For me, it was really difficult to control my sugars. And during pregnancy, you need a really, really tight control. So yeah, I had to stop in order to make that happen and have a healthy pregnancy. So it was really, really hard during pregnancy to keep my sugars in control. You had to be very, very strict, but it also kind of distracted me from the pregnancy. It allowed me to just focus on getting my control right. And then at the end, I had a wonderful, healthy baby, and I'm very, very grateful for that. It was really difficult to exercise during pregnancy just because it was another factor that would influence my blood glucose. So people talk about food and exercise affecting you, but obviously when you're controlling your insulin in order to control your blood glucose, it's really, really difficult. So then throwing pregnancy hormones into that, it just became near impossible for me to exercise. So this is everything that I would put into my bag. So I'm currently on an Omnipod 5. So that's the insulin pump that I'm on. And then I'm also on a Dexcom sensor, and that's the G6 sensor. And they sort of talk to each other and communicate how much insulin I need. So I do a couple of spare insulin pumps, obviously with the insulin, and then spare sensor and some patches to make sure that stays on. I also have a spare blood glucose kit, which I can test my glucose with using a finger prick, using blood. So that's just in case the sensor fails. And then I have glucose tablets, always, a Lucozade, and a snack if I need it. I think probably the biggest misconception is that, well, first of all, that you can't eat certain things. So they'll hear that you're diabetic and they'll see you maybe eating a chocolate bar and they'll say, oh, can you eat that? Well, actually, yes, I just have to give insulin in order to account for that. The other thing is that we've eaten too much sugar. But for my diabetes, I was diagnosed when I was 7. So yeah, it wasn't necessarily anything to do with my diet. It was the fact that my pancreas just stopped working and I needed to provide that insulin some other way. The other big misconception is that you shouldn't play sport. I remember hearing that from a few people when I was first diagnosed, but my parents actually did a really good job, kept life the same for me. I still continue to play basketball. Growing up, I didn't really speak to any other diabetic athletes, which is the reason now that I want to speak out a bit more. Most recently, I've had parents come to me that have got children that are playing basketball that have been diagnosed with diabetes. So I just hope that I can provide some support and reassurance in that way. So I've had a lot of helpful coaches, understanding coaches, and people on the sideline, staff. They've really, really been supportive. I think it's important for people to ask questions, and I'm really grateful when people do, just so that understanding can be increased. I think being a diabetic athlete has made me more disciplined. It's interesting because people understand that food influences your blood glucose, but they don't take into account all the other factors. There's something like 42 factors that influence blood glucose, like things like obviously food and exercise, but then hormones or stress levels or the amount of sleep. So all these things I need to consider every single day when I'm just living my regular life. So it definitely makes you a lot more disciplined and focused. The advice I would give to young people is that it's possible. I hope that I'm an example of that. I think growing up, I didn't have many people that I saw as diabetic athletes. But yeah, I just hope that people know that it is possible. I think coaches and clubs can support diabetic athletes by doing some research, understanding the condition, and then reaching out to those players, making them feel comfortable and accepted, and hopefully a relationship develops there. If I could go back and speak to my younger self right after my diagnosis, I would say that you're going to be okay. Everything is going to work out. It's all possible. you're going to be able to have a family, you're going to be able to play basketball for a very long time, even up to the age of 35. But yeah, just anything is possible.
Welcome back into the National Basketball Performance Centre as we get ready for the second half between Manchester Basketball and the Leicester Riders. Manchester currently with a 61-44 lead over the Riders as we head into the third quarter. And Hannah, it's been a scoring bonanza from Manchester early on.
Yeah, it has. I think we can't not talk about it, Kaz. That ball is just flowing. They're really moving the ball well. They're looking to create some really nice shots. Yeah, I just think it's been fantastic. I'm so sorry, Kaz. My pen's broke.
Oh, no.
What is it with me and pens?
Do you want to share my pen?
That'd be really great.
I've got a multicoloured one.
Thank
and we
you.
can share it. Someone out there has got a highlight compilation of pen mishaps for you.
For me,
commentary.
honestly. It's ridiculous. I've lost. Oh, no, I'm the top of it again.
So Manchester on top here as we head into the third quarter and leading all scorers so far. Franny Hottinger, 15 points, 7 rebounds and 4 assists. Now, Franny Hottinger playing in her first season here for Manchester, a real all-round player, as you can obviously tell from that stat line.
Yeah.
But her her leadership out there on the floor for Manchester. It's incredible. And she's a player that only graduated Marquette University in 2024. So second season playing out of university. She's just really plays beyond her years.
She really does. That's a really good way of saying it, you know. And you can see that as well with her connection to Bratka, like the way that they move together and they look for each other on those passes. I think really shows a high level of intelligence.
So back underway for the third quarter. The Riders with some work to do here in the third. But Sanaya Reid will find Holland. Out to Januszewska on the baseline. Januszewska puts it in.
Really nice finish there.
And that's a good start there for the Riders. Januszewska had picked up those 2 early fouls in the first quarter, so set out for a little bit, and that might have hindered the Riders. But now she's back out on the floor as East working against Reid. Finds some space, and the long 2 rattles in. East does a very good job of creating that space for herself.
Yeah.
As Januszewska gets the handoff. Reid for 3 and hits it. And Sanaya Reid, 3 big threes today as the Riders cut into this lead. Abodo finds Hottinger, but the pass is broken up and it's Reid with her hands on it. And it's a 14-point game. Holland. Biggert finds an open Januszewska on the 3-point line. Shots off the back iron, but picked up by Reid, so another chance here for the Riders. Biggert with 6 seconds. Manages to keep the ball alive. What a tough shot and finish, and Biggert just not giving up on the play.
Really not. That was such a tough move.
Leads down to 12 here for Manchester.
Again, she was able to really kind of find a way to get herself to the basket and create that space for herself.
And took her time doing it as well, even with the shot clock running down. Didn't
like we
rush.
said before, that composure she's got when she plays.
Absolutely. So Manchester were up 24 points earlier on. And Holland gets the whistle. That'll be the second foul on Abodo. And Holland will go to the foul line here, and a chance to cut it to a 10-point lead. So a 7-2 run so far for the Riders this quarter in just over 2 minutes. And doesn't get the first to go.
Second incoming. Be loud and let's hear you.
Second's good though. I'm not sure if that cheer from the crowd was for the Riders or against them. That was an interesting noise.
I'm not even sure what the noise was, to be honest.
So an 11-point Manchester lead. And the Riders have just been chipping away into this as Bratka finds herself inside. East is there on the baseline, will step out of bounds. And Riders have a chance here to take it to single digits. Biggert gets the ball in and it's knocked out of bounds by Abodo.
Riders retain possession on the baseline.
So Riders will go again from the baseline. Manchester picking up full court here. Great defense there from Pitnin. As Januszewska needs to get it over the halfway line, and it'll be an 8-second violation. And that's a really good defensive stance there.
It really is. I think Manchester playing into, playing into what they were doing in the first half, being really tough in the front court.
Abodo. Pitnin against Januszewska finds Hottinger inside. And for Franny Hottinger and Vera Pitnin, who have played in their second game together, right here, right now, the connection between them on the floor, it looks like they've played together for years.
It really does.
Januszewska going baseline, looks to answer for the Riders, can't get it to go. But Biggert gets another chance. As Reid three doesn't fall, and it will be Riders' possession as the ball goes out of bounds, and we'll see Anderson back into the game for Manchester. Obodo will go to the bench. So Holland will inbound here. Biggert gets the whistle. And that'll be against East, her second foul for Manchester. So Brooke Biggert here at the foul line. Biggert with 10 points so far for the Riders, make that 11. Also has 5 rebounds and 3 assists. Second's good. It's an 11-point game. East to Hottinger. Birtanen back to Hottinger, ball goes out of bounds. Be Riders' possession.
It was a good look. I just don't think Hottinger was able to get there quick enough.
And the Riders, they've been chipping into this lead. 11 points down from 24. It's Biggert against Anderson. Biggert out to Reed. Holland kicks it out, Reed's three off the rim, ball's tipped. East has it. East running down the floor. Won't go. Hottinger fighting inside for the rebound, but can't make something of it. Holland to Januszewska. Januszewska spinning to the basket, gets the contact and the foul. And Januszewska here takes it to a single-digit game.
That was smooth. That was such a nice play. That drive and spin, the way she was able to create that space for herself and then take the contact still, masterclass.
Very impressive, but also that will be Tiara East's 3rd foul of the game for Manchester. As Januszewska finishes the 3-point play. The SLB Malton Young Player of the Year last season, Katie Januszewska. Leading the charge here in the 3rd quarter for the Riders. Bratka back to Anderson. Anderson pulls up from 3. And the Riders back down the floor. It's an 8-point game as Bratka intercepts it. Birtanen has East up ahead and takes the time. Good setting her feet there from East.
Yeah, making sure she's on balance, just taking that second.
Januszewska into Gibbons, draws the foul. So she's going to go to the line. That'll be the 4th on Manchester this quarter. 2nd on Anderson.
Again, you see the impact there of Januszewska. The way she'd like a little head tip to Louisa Gibbons to tell her, roll to basket, I'll get you. Again, shows her experience and her knowledge of offense.
Louisa Gibbons named to the WNBL Division 1 British Team of the Year last season. Was named WEABL Defensive Player of the Year in the South as well. And cuts the lead down to 8 here in the 3rd quarter. Obodo calling for it inside, it's short. As Holland back down the floor. Anderson takes the rebound. Obodo's there. Back to Anderson. Good hands there from Reed to knock the ball out of bounds, just disrupt the play and force Manchester to reset. Anderson looks to get the ball in. Birtanen for 3, splashes it in from the outside. And that's a much-needed basket there for Manchester. So it stops that Riders run.
Yeah.
As Januszewska answers.
I think she well answered that then.
Anderson out to Bratka. Bratka, first miss of the night from 3. And it's an 8-point game after that Januszewska three-pointer. Bigot. Too much on it. Manchester back down the floor. Anderson over the halfway line. And pass is intercepted by Gibbons. Riders on a 15-6 run. Oh, what a shot from the outside. And Jada Holland up to 16 points. It's a 5-point game, just a 2-possession game. As Hottinger can't get the roll. And what a comeback here from the Riders, down 24 points earlier on. As ball will go out of bounds. Stays with the Riders here. And we'll see Eva Karashaita and Nicolette Fairley into the game.
I think Riders have just been great. You know, they've been really, really disruptive on defence. Manchester are struggling to get anything to drop right now, and I don't know whether it's the contact or whether, you know, they're just not finishing, but Riders are really capitalising on that.
Holland into Reed. Oma Jones. And fouls called against Manchester, so that's their 5th. And that's going to put them in the bonus for the rest of the quarter. Riders yet to foul here in the 3rd, and that's certainly something they can look to take advantage of.
First of all, Manchester into the bonus. 2 free throws incoming for the Riders. Oma Jones at the line. You know what to do, Manchester.
Oma Jones gets the first. Takes herself up to 3 points, but as we mentioned in the first half, Oma Jones has been doing all that work off the ball for the Riders. Doesn't get the second to go. Hottinger gets the rebound. Hottinger with a double-double, 10 rebounds, 17 points as foul is called against the Riders.
Yeah, sorry, I was just trying to work out who that foul was against. I wasn't sure, but then with Nicolette doing another, was it another quick foul from her?
Obodo to Peartonen. Has Gibbons on her. Karashaita in the corner. Makes some space. Shot bounces off. And Louisa Gibbons is does such a good job of positioning herself under the basket to get those rebounds.
Yeah, she really reads the paint well.
As Reed absolutely on fire from behind the three-point line. Sanaya Reed, 16 points, 4 made threes, brings it back to a single-digit game.
Yeah, you know, Riders have got that late game execution, and I think for them that's a real strength. You know, once you get them, once you can trust them to get the ball into the right hands, and you know, they'll run something solid from it. And I think that's what they've done this 3rd quarter. They've really come out there strong. They've been aggressive in attacking the basket, drawing the fouls from Manchester, and have just been so disruptive on their defensive end as well.
They certainly have, and it's been a 28-9 run here in the 3rd quarter for the Riders. I mean, that's a fantastic comeback.
It's fantastic. I think, you know, they're really good at controlling the tempo. They've managed to, you know, slow the game right down from what was happening in the 1st quarter. From the 1st half. You know, Manchester had 18 fast break points in the 1st half, so I think for them, by, you know, really slowing this game down, they've prevented any more of those runs.
Certainly done a good job of that as teams coming back out onto the court. So 10 more minutes to play. No, we're in the 3rd quarter still. 3 minutes 7 to play here in the 3rd quarter. Teams back out onto the court. Anderson playing in her 11th season in the Top Flight League will set things up here. East finds a way to the basket. Obodo on the outside. Karashaita pulls the trigger, doesn't get it to go, gets her own rebound though. And Karashaita puts Manchester up 3. That's the importance of following your shot,
It
isn't
really
it?
is.
Coaches will always
Yeah.
reach that.
Second chance points.
Holland. Over to Reed.
Oh, nice.
5 seconds. Reed's floater's too strong. She'll get her own rebound. Can't finish on the second chance.
Again, though, she managed to shimmy her way through 2 players then on the perimeter. Nice little drive.
That's Karishita. That one won't go, but what a rebound there from Bratka, who finds a Bodo, put into the basket.
That weak side cut is fantastic. It's a really good move from Irene.
Leads up to 5. Reed runs into Bratka. Reed and gets the whistle. Oh, offense. Was that an offensive foul? It was an offensive foul called. So Manchester get the ball back. Reed is so springy, isn't she?
Yeah.
She's got a really quick step and then able to really, I don't know how to describe it, bounce on the floor. It's
I think
great.
the word we should use is she's got great agility. And
Okay. Let's say that and sound fancy.
that would be the more professional way, I think, of saying it instead of saying bouncy. She's very agile.
So 5-point Manchester lead. Anderson get it over the halfway line here. East. East to Bratka inside, and Maya Bratka up to 15 points. And since Manchester have been going to that inside pass to Bratka, she's either able to score or pass it out.
Yeah, and then that creates an outside shot. But yeah, it's fantastic. It works really well.
Speaking of outside shots, Katie Januszewska says, you want to see an outside shot? Here's one. And she cuts the lead down to 4. Anderson finds Karishita. Karishita going to the basket, blocked by Gibbons, gets her own rebound, and Bratka is there for another. Anderson, floater for history, and Anderson, the all-time leading scorer in the top flight league. Georgia Anderson, write your name in the history books. 2,435 points. Congratulations to Georgia Anderson. An incredible achievement there, Hannah.
I mean, it means so much, I think, to, you know, this team and I think to the city as well. You know, she's such an incredible player. She's yeah, it's just incredible. I'm speechless.
And 11 seasons into her career, playing against the team she started her career with in the WBBL in 2014, 2015, all those years ago. What you said it before, but it writes itself.
It really does. It absolutely does.
And also, so whilst that's absolutely incredible and an amazing achievement, Manchester are up 6 after that basket. So, and I'm sure at the end of the game, Georgia Anderson, whilst everyone is celebrating her and such an achievement, she will say, I just want to get the win.
Yeah, absolutely.
As Anderson against Gray, Bratka's there, Karishita, back to Anderson. Anderson steps back, 3, it's short. Gray back down the floor. 12 seconds in the quarter. Holland to Januszewska, 5 seconds. 2 seconds, Januszewska. And Maya Bratka, her impact on defense for Manchester, it is just, it cannot be understated.
She's a wall.
She is.
She's
in a good way, in a great way.
No, she's just fantastic. She absolutely just sets that wall up of defense, and she's really hard to move through.
So 0.7 here, has to be a catch and lob. I wouldn't have put it past Januszewska to have an over-the-head score.
Yeah.
So at the end of the third quarter, oh, did we have a foul there just
We
on
did.
this
I
shot?
think we're getting a bit excited here. They've put a second back on the clock.
So foul against Manchester. Januszewska at the line. Januszewska having played for the Great Britain senior national team at Eurobasket and the Eurobasket qualifiers. Had 8 points against Estonia in the Eurobasket qualifiers. And a player that came up through Charnwood, through the Riders program. So discussion on the floor, they put 0.7 on the clock. And Januszewska will be at the line here. Januszewska with 17 points personal, 18 now. Cuts the lead down to 5. And she can make it a 2-possession game and does. 4-point game, Bratka will just hold it. So at the end of the third quarter, a run for the Riders, 30-17 for the Riders in that third quarter, the highest scoring quarter of the game so far for the Riders, cutting the lead down to 4. Manchester able to recover in the last few minutes there after a slow start scoring-wise.
Yeah, I think, you know, Leicester have just been really capitalising on these turnovers that Manchester seem to have started to pick up. And I think they're just being really aggressive when they go into the basket. They're making sure that every single basket counts, and they are flowing really well as well. And I just think Manchester need to pick it up a little bit. They've not had any transition points for a while, and I think they've just been disrupted by Leicester's defence.
And leading all scorers, it is Katie Januszewska, 19 points personal. And that shows the scoring impact on the game, doesn't it, Hannah? But Manchester had a 24-point lead earlier on. And a lot of that run is while Katie Januszewska was on the bench with those 2 early fouls.
Yeah.
So shows how important she is to this team.
It really does. You know, she's been aggressive, she's been attacking the basket hard, and she's also been creating for her teammates as well. She's been moving the ball really well. She's reading Manchester's defence brilliantly, and I think that's what's giving them the edge at the minute. And again, in addition, you know, Leicester are winning on the boards. They've got 33 rebounds. Manchester have got 30. So it shows that they're going after everything. They're going after every second chance. They're going after every defensive rebound. Yeah, I just think they're being more aggressive now.
So 10 more minutes to play here. 78-74. Manchester lead over the Riders, just a 2-possession game. And obviously in that third quarter, Hannah, Georgia Anderson breaking the all-time scoring record with just under 2 minutes to play. I'm sure that's something that a lot of people will be celebrating as well, especially after the game.
Yeah, definitely.
So Karashaita to Abodo. Abodo into Bratka. Oh, what a catch from Bratka. And the finish. 3 defenders on her. A pinpoint pass there from Abodo.
Yeah.
Extends the lead to 6. Gibbons trying to hand off to Januszewska, guarded by Abodo. And fouls called on the floor. And that'll be the 4th on Abodo. So end-line ball here for the Riders. Holland into Gray. Holland out to the corner. Oma Jones, it's short, picked up by East. East going all the way to the basket. Doesn't drop. And Gray pushing the pace here as Gibbons and Oma Jones just passing back and forth. Januszewska. Januszewska takes it inside, and Bratka with a big rebound. And Bratka does a really good job. She gets a lot of one-handed rebounds and able to kind of pull it down and protect it.
Yeah.
East. Inside Bratka, working against Gibbons. Too strong off the glass. Anderson's there. Thought we were going to get an alley-oop. And Holland chases down the rebound. Jada Holland skies in from nowhere. And a foul called against Manchester. So that's Manchester's 2nd team foul. That's the 3rd foul on Anderson.
Substitution for Manchester coming
as
back.
Karashaita
Hottinger,
and Abodo will head to the bench. Hottinger and Pirtinen back into the game. So Louisa Gibbons here at the foul line. First is short. Gibbons having played for Great Britain at the Under-20s European Championships this summer. Also played in 2024. Doesn't get the second. Hottinger to Anderson. Back to Hottinger. Pirtinen from 3. Off the rim, but East is there. A big rebound from East. Powering her way inside.
Really knows how to muscle her way to the basket.
And she takes her time with it as well, doesn't she? There's no rush shots.
Yes, that wall.
But foul will go against Manchester, so that's the third, Bracker's second. And we'll have a substitution for the Riders as we see Mercy Adams-Sayo onto the court.
number 25, Louisa Gibbons. Riders possession from the sideline. Manchester on defense.
Januszewska gets the handoff, ball's loose, Pirtinen picks it up and is fouled from behind, so that will be the first against the Riders.
I'd say that was a smart foul, though, from Leicester. It's a good way to disrupt the transition. You know, we've already talked about how dangerous Manchester are in transition, so, you know.
Absolutely, and they have fouls to give. That's only their first foul.
Absolutely. I think it was smart.
That's the second on Adams-Sayo. As East will get it into Anderson. Bracker. Over to Pirtinen. Hottinger. Anderson against Januszewska. Hottinger going baseline. Can't get it to fall. The Riders back down the court. It's an 8-point game. Januszewska catch and shoot. No other result. Katie Januszewska is on fire here. 22 points. Leads down to 5. East. A reset here for Manchester. Has Gray on her. East winds up, powers away to the basket. Too much on that. Just under 7 to play here in the fourth quarter. Oma Jones looking for some help. Adams-Sayo draws the double team back out to Oma Jones. Ball's deflected. Adams-Sayo picks it up and banks it in.
Leicester Riders are really composed when it comes to the last few seconds of a...
They're not rushed at all,
No,
are
they're
they?
really not rushed.
They're like, oh, 0.5 seconds? Yeah, I'll make a basket.
5 hours.
Pirtinen has to back the ball out. Hottinger going baseline. No good. Anderson's there for the rebounds. Can't finish on the putback. The Riders with a chance to tie on this possession, a 3-point game. They cut it down to 1 earlier on as Adams-Sayo, too strong. Long pass over to East, can't save it inside the lines. And we're just under 6 minutes to play here. Irene Abodo will come out onto the court for Manchester. Georgia Anderson takes a seat. I can see one of her ex-teammates over there, Rianne Bailey, had a great sign earlier she's made. Go, Georgia, go. Lots of support for Anderson in the crowd as well, playing at home here. But it's a 3-point game as Gray has Oma Jones to tie, banks it in, and Oma Jones ties the game at 82, and the three's falling for the Riders.
It really is.
As Abodo runs into traffic, Hottinger has the ball underneath the hoop.
They are swamping that paint. They are really, really swamping it. They're doing so well on defense.
As ball goes out of bounds.
They're really constricting the, you know, Manchester there from getting A, the second chance points, and B, the rebounds as well. So they're just swallowing it up.
So Riders ball, fresh 14 here. Bigot to Gray. Oh, Gray has space and takes the lead. The Riders with their first lead of the game. Hannah Gray, a high arc in 3. And Manchester now looking to come from behind. And what an impressive run this has been from Leicester.
It has. They've just chipped away at it. Like we've said, they've been composed. They've not rushed. They've just taken it play by play. And I think it's really...
it's paying off.
Paying off.
Paying off as Hottinger inside. East from the elbow. It's 2 strong balls tipped into the hands of Bracker. And East will just say, oh, let's reset here. We've got time. East to Bracker, running to the basket. And that's a great answer from Manchester.
It really is, and that's all they've got to stick to, you know.
Doesn't have to be a 3-pointer.
Doesn't have to.
Manchester, again, just do what Leicester have done and cut into the lead.
Yeah.
So Hottinger knocking the ball all the way into reception. And Louisa Gibbons will come back out onto court. Mercy Adamsayo will take a seat. And Adamsayo's really drawn that attention inside when she's been on the floor. Gibbons. Hands off to Januszewska. Bigot. And pass is going to go out of bounds. Manchester will have possession. 4:08 to play here in the 4th quarter. Manchester down 1. Leicester having come back from 24 points down. Pass is picked off by Oma Jones. As she has Gibbons. Gibbons looked like she had a path to the basket there, but 3 off the rim for the Riders. Louisa Gibbons with another chance here on offense. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Januszewska, not that time. And an offensive foul called against Manchester, so the Riders will get the ball back here. As Jada Holland subs into the game, Hannah Gray will go to the bench. As fouls called against Pearsonen. So Riders from the sideline. And a step out of bounds will give Manchester the ball back. So both teams maybe, it's becoming a little bit tense here, isn't it? Just over 3 minutes to play. Manchester down 1. Looking to go on top here on this possession. East. Hands off to Bracker. Great screen from Bracker as East turns and fires, leaves it short, gets her own rebound. Out to Pearsonen for 3, spins off, but East again underneath the basket is fouled, so she will go to the line. But Tiara East working so hard on the board.
Yeah, she is. And I think she knows the importance. She knows now they've got to dig in and really kind of go for it. They've got to get this lead back.
So East will be at the line for 2. Coming out of Temple University in Philadelphia. She was named MVP at the inaugural Big 5 Classic in Philadelphia in December 2024. A really high-level program there as she gets the first free throw to tie the game at 85. And seconds good. Manchester go back ahead. No. And basket is waved off due to a lane violation, so we are at 85 all. 3:02 to go.
Manchester defense.
Januszewska has had the hot hand all game long for the Riders. 22 points, finds Gibbons. Back to Januszewska. Pass underneath the basket, and Gibbons will finish.
Again, what a pass from Januszewska. That was to find Gibbons under the basket like that.
Great pass as Hottinger goes baseline, and a foul on the floor. So that'll be the 3rd against the Riders. Manchester on 14 fouls, so the next foul from Manchester will put them in the bonus. Riders have one to give, and we'll have a timeout called here by head coach Ollie Parr for Manchester, and Manchester down 2 here in the 4th. What do you want to see from them coming out of this timeout, Hannah?
I think for them now, they've just got to be composed and they've got to take the right shots. They really can't afford to turn the ball over, and I think for them, they've just got to, you know, really focus on their shot selection right now. But I mean, you know, for Leicester right now, they've got the momentum behind them. I think they just need to run the ball, and yeah, I think their defense has been so solid this second half. They've absolutely swamped Manchester. They've really disrupted their play.
They've really adjusted well.
Adjusted well, and I think they've just got to keep that up and, yeah, see them through to the finish.
And interesting because both coaches, Nick Moody for the Leicester Riders and Ollie Parr for Manchester, both assistant coaches previously in the Leicester programme, facing off against each other for the first time today as head coaches.
Yeah, it's great to see, and I think, you know, like I mentioned before, I think Coach Parr would have known what to expect maybe, and, you know, same goes for Coach Moody. He'll have maybe known what to expect from Coach Parr. So, yeah, it's been a really interesting matchup.
So Manchester possession here from the end line as East looks to get the ball in. Has Hottinger back to East, calling from it from outside the 3-point line. Steps inside, long twos off. And Omar Jones hands off to Holland. Holland tries to go inside, ball's out to Januszewska. Januszewska working against East. Pass finds its way into the hands of Biggott, who hits a huge 3 for the Riders. And will put them up, it's a long 2, put them up 4 here. Manchester looking for an answer. Peartonen to Bratka, and Bratka gets the whistle on the play. So Maya Bratka here will go to the foul line, but another big shot from Brooke Biggott for the Riders takes her up to 15 points personal. So some important free throws to come here as Bratka will go to the line. Maya Bratka playing in Spain last season, spent 4 years playing in France, has made such an impact for Manchester since she's been with them this season. 19 points so far today, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, but it's that attention that she draws and all that work again that she does off the ball.
Yeah, absolutely.
So a 5-point Riders lead. Bratka gets the first. She's up to 20. Second to come to cut it down to a single possession game. And she does. So a 3-point lead for the Riders. Manchester picking up full court here. Gibbons has it. Back to Biggott. Omar Jones calling for it from behind the line. It's too strong, but Gibbons skies in from nowhere. Gets the rebound and cleans up the glass, and that's what she does so well. As the lead is back up to 5. East for 3. Gets the roll. Tiara East coming up clutch here for Manchester. 2-point game. Gibbons passing inside to Biggott as Januszewska round the outside. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Januszewska runs into Bratka. Gibbons to the basket. Gets it to go. And Louisa Gibbons back-to-back buckets. No, it wasn't, was it? I don't know. It was just big buckets from Louisa Gibbons here in the 4th quarter as Bratka looks to put it in for Manchester and does. It's a 2-point game. Final minute of the 4th quarter. Omar Jones. Leicester on top by 2. Manchester looking for a stop. Gibbons hands off to Omar Jones. Oma Jones using the clock here against Hottinger, and will draw the foul. So going to go to the foul line. A chance to increase this Riders' lead. 2.3 seconds on the shot clock. Manchester were doing a good job to run that down, but the foul there just at the end puts Oma Jones at the free throw line. And first is good. It's a 3-point game. Second would make it a 2-possession game and make things a bit more difficult here for Manchester. And doesn't get it to drop. Bracker chases down the rebound. It's a 3-point game. Now Manchester don't have to take the 3 here. They have time. Aboado going to the basket, and Irene Aboado puts the lead down to 1 with 17.9 seconds to go. We have a timeout called. It will be Leicester Riders ball here with 17.9 seconds to go. Hannah, what are both teams thinking?
Why do you ask me these questions, Gaz? I mean, for Manchester now, it's about whether do you take that risk and foul? Do you? I mean, you're on.
So if you do foul, they are going to the line.
Yeah,
so you run the risk of putting it up to a 3-point game. So you do need a 3.
You do need a 3, but then there's also Leicester. Do they play full court defense, knowing that they've got that 1-point advantage, or risk fouling? Are you following me? I feel like you're struggling to follow me on that one.
No, I am. So if you're Manchester, you want to try and get a quick steal?
Yeah, obviously
you want
to
get
quick
something
steal
quick.
and get quick
So,
score.
And like, how much time do you want to give it before you try that quick steal? Because obviously you don't want to run the clock down too much before you foul.
Exactly.
Like 4 or 5 seconds?
Yeah, probably. But then Riders, you want to
just play keeper. You can play keep away, can't you?
Yeah.
Or try and draw.
They want to, they want to draw the foul, hold the ball, and keep possession. Oh, Kaz, I don't know. You really like to put us on edge here, don't you?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. A 95-94. We said we were in for a high-scoring game, Hannah, and we certainly have been. So Riders are going to inbound in the full court here, not advance the ball as Januszewska looks to get the ball in. Bigot. And Bigot will get it over the halfway line here. East will foul, so it takes around 4 seconds off the clock. Manchester weren't able to get the steal, and that'll foul East out of the game. But obviously, that's what Manchester are looking for there. They wanted East being the tough defender that she is, if they weren't able to pick it up. So Bigot here at the line, having hit 4 of 4 from the line so far today. So a bit of a tough player to foul. So she gets the first. Bigot shooting 100% from the season as Aboado has the ball. Karashaita up ahead, 8 seconds. Hottinger for 3, Pearson for 3, doesn't go. And Holland has the ball. Karashaita will foul. And that'll put the Riders back at the line here. And that might do it here for the Riders. So Jada Holland, 16 points personal. First doesn't go. So there's 2.5 seconds here. If Manchester get the rebound, they're going to have to push something. Have they got a timeout left?
No.
So they're going to have to push something up the floor.
Oh yeah, they did. Sorry.
So a 3-point game. So Manchester are going to have to look for a 3-point shot here. So they'll advance the ball, 2.5 seconds. You've probably got a dribble, a pass. You don't want to take that much time off the clock. So if we look at who has been shooting well for Manchester from 3, Maya Bratka, 3 made 3s. Vera Peterson with 3 made 3s also, just having missed that last one before.
And Karashaita
with 2, but you know, Irene Aboado is a player that can hit that shot. Georgia Anderson. And going to be interesting here to see who Manchester will go to, but would you expect the inbound, someone to come off a screen and maybe the inbound to get the ball back for the
possibly,
three?
yeah, something like that.
For Leicester as well, you want to not foul on the shot. If you are going to foul, you can foul on a 2.
Yeah.
You don't want to give up the three free throws at the line here.
Absolutely not.
So let's see what Coach Ollie Parr has drawn up. Manchester will need a 3-pointer here to tie the game. We have 2.5 seconds on the clock. As Hottinger will be guarded by Januszewska. Hottinger needs some help. Aboado's there. Aboado will launch from deep. And that's a great defense there from Louisa Gibbons, able to put the pressure on. And the Riders with a come-from-behind win, 97-94, a huge win for them over Manchester Basketball. And Katie Januszewska, absolutely lights out, 22 points. 4 rebounds, 6 assists. She hit 3 from behind the 3-point line, but it was everything she was doing on the court.
It was, yeah. I think she really played a blinder today. You know, she was 43% field goal, 37% 3-point shooting, 22 points. You know, she's had 6 assists. And I think for her, like I said, she just was able to create so much for her teammates as well as execute herself. So, yeah, I think she's done fantastic today.
And alongside her, Jada Holland, 17 points with 6 assists. Brooke Biggott, 16 points, 7 rebounds and 6 assists. And then Sanaya Reid off the bench, 16 points, 4 rebounds, hit 4 threes, was huge in that third quarter comeback. And if we take a look at Manchester, leading the way, Maya Bracker, 23 points, 10 rebounds, a double-double for her. Franny Hottinger with 17 points and 11 rebounds, another double-double for Manchester. And Ciara East, 22 points and 8 rebounds. So we're just going to take a quick break, and me and Hannah are going to join you courtside to wrap up the game and hopefully get a word with Manchester's Georgia Anderson.
Super League basketball is leveling up British hoops. This isn't just a league, it's a movement you can feel and see in the stands. From the first tip to the final buzzer, the story is written. Every drive, every shot, and every moment. Rivalries run deeper, games hit harder. One pass, one dunk, everything can shift. Legacies aren't given here, they're earned. New stories are ready, and new champions are coming. Season 2 is here. Stand tall for British basketball.
So Hannah, we're here courtside. We're going to hopefully catch a word with Georgia Anderson shortly about her incredible record that she's made. But let's just talk about the game first. I mean, what a fast-paced and fun game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think Leicester Riders did such a fantastic job there. They overcame a 24-point deficit, and I think they absolutely smashed it. They kept their composure throughout the whole game and just chipped away. And I think their defense really played into that. They did a great job at disrupting Manchester's offense. They had quite a good flow, Manchester, in the first half, and I think Leicester did a really good job to nip that in the bud early on in the second half.
And it's something we've talked about, isn't it, throughout the start of the season so far? Like, there's a lot of parity in this league this year, so on any given day, anyone can beat anyone.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you just don't know what's around the corner, and you don't know what's happening in the next half. I think for Manchester today, you know, I worry that maybe they got a little bit complacent in that first half. They saw that run, they had those nice transition, and I think for them it was just a little bit, bit of a complacency.
So we're here with Georgia Anderson. Georgia, the all-time leading scorer in the Top Flight League, 2,435 points. Yeah. You got great cheers from the crowds. How do you feel after that? It's a really amazing milestone.
Yeah, obviously it's bittersweet with the result of the game, but no, it's great. I'm proud that I could do it. I'm just got a lot of respect for the people that set the record, like Kat Carr, Helen Naylor, I think's below that. So just to be in that same category, I'm just really proud of it.
you know, as you've an inspiration to many young players across the UK. So what impact do you think your career and your accomplishments will have on them?
I don't know. I think it's weird to look at that. I don't think you know what you're doing while you're doing it. I think it's something you can look back on and be like, actually, yeah, that's pretty cool what I achieved. And just, yeah, I hope that people can look at it and take some inspiration. And yeah.
And when you started your career 11 years ago, playing for the Leicester Riders, did you think this is where you'd be 11 years later, still playing?
No. Still playing, firstly, no, I didn't think I'd still be playing. But yeah, I'm just grateful that I can. My body is holding up so far. But yeah, no, it's been a journey, and yeah, I'm just really grateful for all of it, really, the ups and downs, and yeah, I just love it.
We've absolutely loved seeing you play on court. It's been absolutely fantastic. So congratulations on another amazing milestone.
Thanks, guys.
Georgia Anderson there, just absolutely incredible. Like you said, setting the tone for the next generation. So many players that have seen her now, like Irina Boado will have been watching her, now playing with her. It's just amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, myself, you know, I played with her growing up, and she was the senior players that I aspired to, and then being able to commentate, and she's still smashing these records. It's just an honour, and it's fantastic.
It really is. So Manchester will go again next Saturday. They are away to the Sheffield Hatters, and we've seen them play Sheffield in the group stage of the trophy. They are a tough team to come up against. So what can they take from this going into that one?
I think for them, they've just got to really focus on kind of being able to get over those runs when the opposition has those kind of moments of momentum. Manchester just need to be able to refocus and recalibrate, and then hold on for till the end, really, and finish those 40 minutes strong.
And for Leicester, bouncing back after a loss to Sheffield, what are they going to take from that? That's a huge boost for them.
It is, absolutely. You know, they really fought in that game, and I think that gives you a momentum then to carry forward into the next game.
So the final score from here in Manchester, 97 to the Leicester Riders, 94 to Manchester Basketball. An absolutely fantastic game. History made out here on the floor at the National Basketball Performance Centre, as Georgia Anderson is the all-time leading scorer in the Top Flight League, 2,435 points. Now, Manchester will have a presentation for Georgia, which we'll bring you as well out there on the floor. But you can stay tuned to all the action on the Super League and the Manchester Basketball social media channels. And it's just going to be, you don't want to miss it. So from myself, Caroline Bullock, and from Hannah Alty, thanks for joining us, and we will see you next time.
Thank you.